Kenny Park at the Rye for this county's Junior A Hurling Championship final of 1992. And just behind us here we have the Rahoon side striving for glory for the first time in 15 years. Back in 1977 they won a county intermediate hurling championship title in Loughrea when they defeated Pearses, and it's since they haven't actually won a junior title since 1970. So just before we have a look at the various chances of the sides, we'll give you the teams. And the news is that the Rahoon team lines out indeed as selected. In goals, Marty Davern, a hero from 1977. The full-back line, right full-back John Kane, full-back Rondo Lawless, who captains the side, and left full-back Niall Duffy. Right half-back Tom Kane, centre half-back Liam Maloney, and left half-back Larry Jurek. Centre field, Michael Menton, wears number 8, and he'll be partnered by Sean Collarden. The half-forward line, right half-forward Seamus Maloney, centre half-forward Michael Joyce, left half-forward Michael Walsh. And the full-forward line, right full-forward Brian Flaherty, full-forward Sean, full-forward Peter Kane. Now the Castlegar side have one change from their selected team in that Fergal Leonard, who injured his hand last Sunday in training, a fractured bone we believe, will be replaced at centre field by Jimmy Shaughnessy of the famous Shaughnessy clan of Castlegar. Their full line out is in goals Jerry Duggan, the full-back line, right full-back John Connor, full-back Dermot Morton, left full-back John Tierney, centre half-back Colm Kelly, right half-back, I beg your pardon, Colm Kelly, centre half-back Tom Connolly, and left half-back Tom Healy, the young minor, who of course has had a great year this year. Centre field John Kelly, and he'll be partnered by substitute Jimmy Shaughnessy. The half-forward line, right half-forward, another minor, still involved in the county minor championship final, and their replay coming up against Clarenbridge is Matthew Conroy. Centre half-forward Pat Burke, and left half-forward Tom King. And the full-forward line, right full-forward Pádraig Kane, brother of Peter, who lines out at corner forward for Rahoon. Pádraig is just 2 years now playing for Castlegar since he moved there. Full forward is Seamus Murphy, a man who was returned about 6 months ago from England, and left full forward is Tommy Duggan. So that's the line out of the sides, and we'll be back with you with the action shortly. Well, yes, the Castlegar team now enter the field here at Kenny Park at the Rye. Wet and sodden indeed the field. A lot of preparatory work done here earlier this morning by Frank Burke, County Board Chairman, and the Park Committee here at Kenny Park at the Rye. They have it in reasonably good condition, and indeed very trying conditions here with the rain pouring down. Very difficult conditions for both hurlers, and obviously it will affect this game perhaps from a skill point of view. An interesting item indeed that we've noticed from the recently published history of the GAA in County Galway, Volume 2, of course, by Antahir Pádraig O'Lee, now himself a curate in Castlegar, is that on the 14th of November 1908, a senior hurling championship game between Rahoon and Turloughmore was played here at Kenny Park, Athenry. Special excursion train brought hundreds to Athenry. The Rahoon fife and drum band paraded the principal streets of Athenry and played a selection of national airs. And the result, Rahoon 2-11, Turloughmore 10 points. And on that occasion, Rahoon were captained by a P. Flaherty. An interesting snippet from a very interesting book, as we said. And I don't think that there was any excursion train from Athenry today to bring the Rahoon supporters out here, but certainly they're very well supported, as indeed are the Castlegar team as well. But the conditions, obviously the wet conditions, very, very wintry conditions here, may have kept other people, perhaps the neutrals, at home. Looking at the Rahoon side, of course, they have come through underage, and indeed many of the experienced veterans still out there. Marty Davern from the 1977 team, and also Sean Davern, his brother. Sean, after overcoming a serious back injury, back in the fray again at full forward, and he is part of a full forward line made up by Brian Flaherty, a former county minor, who played in goals, in fact, for the Galway Miners. He's at right corner forward, and Peter Kane, another man who lined out for the county minor team as well. And looking at, indeed, the progress of both teams in this junior championship, this will be Rahoon's first bid, as we said earlier on, for a major title in 15 years. They have managed some underage titles, and indeed many have come through their underage, that underage process. But their first bid for a major title since 1977. In the semi-final, they defeated Capatagal by 17 points. And as we said, they last won a county junior championship in 1970. On the other hand, Castlegar have had a very tough campaign getting here. They had a tough semi-final, a tough and indeed dogged semi-final victory, a 1 point narrow victory over Sarsfields, their great rivals, by 1-6 to 8 points. Castlegar held their nerves indeed in those dying moments. And Rahoon, on the other hand, indeed had a much easier passage coming through to these games. They managed to defeat, of course, Castlegar in a very tough encounter. And also, of course, they had a good victory over Kiltormer, which was another close game, one out against Salthill and Fohana, but then had easy victories, most notably that semi-final one against Cappatagal. On the other hand, Castlegar's tough passage, as well as that semi-final, a narrow one-point victory. They also, their quarter-final victory was a one-point victory as well over their great rivals, Kiltormer. Rahoon today, of course, managed by Brendan Linsky. He's the manager of the side and also assisted by Tony Keady. And the selectors of the Rahoon side are Joe Clark, Tom Connor and Matty O'Toole, three great servants of the Rahoon club. Team manager of the Castlegar junior team is, of course, Jerry Connolly. Selectors are Michael King, Willie Grealish, Matt Fanaher, Pat Burke, the captain, and John Walsh, the trainer. Eamon Whelan, the very experienced Tommy Larkin's official, is about to get this game underway, and indeed getting quite dark here at the moment. And I'll be joined later on for a few comments from the Galway Bay FM reporter at the game today. That's Sean Walsh. Sean, obviously trying conditions out there as you see them at the moment.
Very much is the case today, Joe. Very, very wet. It'll probably be a defences on top type day. Both teams looking very fit, and it should be a very, very evenly contested game. A city derby, and we're looking forward to it.
Well, yes, indeed, great anticipation indeed. Yesterday on Galway Bay FM Preview on Saturday Sport, they were speaking about the days of the Wild West. And the Wild West involved, of course, was the Westport Championship, when these two teams had some great tussles and battles, Rahoon and Castlegar. Looking out now, Eamon Whelan having a chat with the referees, and we noticed that Pat Burke, it was thought that Pat, the captain of the side, Pat the genial Garda, from the Renmore area, would be lining out at full forward, but in fact he is lining out at centre forward. So Castlegar are playing from the town goal down towards the end of the field here. And we're having a quick look around. Seamus Murphy, as we said, back from England, lining out at full forward. He's marked by the captain of the Rahoon side, that's Raymond Ray Rondo Lawless. We notice also that Tom King and Matthew Conroy have switched positions. Matthew has scored 3 points in that, and in fact I think we have another change here. Have we got Jerry Duggan, Tommy Duggan in fact, out at right half forward, switching around quite a bit. Yes, Tommy Duggan has moved out, and even before the game starts we have a little bit of action in there in the goal mouth with Sean Davern and Castlegar full-back Dermot Moran. Eamon Whelan now, roars of anticipation going up from the crowd. Larry Jurek will be marking Tommy Duggan. And out there we see Michael Menton, a former Ballinasloe man, lined out with Ballinasloe for many years, and also, of course, in recent years been giving great service to the Rahoon club. So he's out there marking Jimmy Shaughnessy. And they're meant to get into the fray here, indeed. Sean Colleran, the fair-haired Sean, is out there. And jostling for possession there is Sean Kelly. The ball is in a little bit late after starting, but the first free of the game given for a chop. And this will be taken by Michael Benton of Ballinasloe from the centre field position. Just after starting now, the time 2:38 we make it. And Michael Benton from the 65, he's brought it in a little bit for himself. Michael Benton will take this one as a quick look at the posts. Lifts and strikes, trying conditions as we said earlier on. It's a long one in there around the square, hopping in, goes all the way to the right and wide. So the first wide of the game, first attack, that free taken by Michael Menton. Running out to mark Michael is Jimmy Shaughnessy, the substitute. Fergal Leonard, speaking to John Joe Cochran, of course, Castlegar clubman, mentioned his tremendous loss. Tom Connolly out there in the centre of the defence. He was on the last Castlegar side to win a junior championship as well in 1987, 5 years ago. And the ball is pucked out by goalkeeper Jerry Duggan out to the middle of the field here. Breaking, running for possession there is Larry Jurek now. Larry Jurek and Pat Burke trying conditions over there. Duggan manages to get the ball in now. And going for that ball now is Pádraig Kane. Pádraig Kane, a former Rahoon man, gets the ball in, gets him on the attack. Seamus Murphy going out there, so also is Rondo Lawless. Rondo now gets it out towards the right corner. Rondo follows it out, but he's fouled. The third man tackle there. Rondo sends sprawling in the very slippery underfoot conditions. And as a free out, says Eamon Whelan. Certainly both teams showing plenty of dedication and commitment in these early stages. Pádraig Kane playing a roving right corner forward role. He's out around the half forward line, running out towards the sideline now, we notice, for some assistance or other. He's marked today by Niall Duffy. Niall, the left corner back, who very versatile player, plays some football with Barn and also plays rugby with Corinthians Rugby Football Club. So right corner back, John Kane, another man who lines out with Barn of footballers in the intermediate grade. John, an ex-St. Mary's man, very versatile player, very tight performer. Lifts and strikes, and it's a long relieving free from John Kane up towards the Castlegar half-back line. And back there is Pádraig Kane, very far from his right corner forward role. Gets the ball up now to Tommy Duggan. The long-haired Tommy delivers it in quickly In towards the left, Matthew Conroy is in there, but the ball was broken out there by John Kane, and John still retrieves the situation, coming out now, trying to lift the ball. He's tackled out there. Pat Burke has got the ball. Pat Burke in possession now, the captain. Gets it in through now to Matthew Conroy. Matthew, who scored 3 points, as we said, in the minor game the last day, but a foul there on Pat Burke after he delivered that ball, hand-passed ball to Matthew Conroy, and it's a free in. And the ever-accurate Tom Ollie King, as he's known to distinguish him from Tom Red, will take this free. Tom has proved a very accurate free taker for Castlegar. Just after 2 minutes of play gone in this first half. Tom has a quick look at the post. He's about 25 metres out. Takes a shot, and it's the first score of the game after 2.5 minutes. Going on 3 minutes play gone by Tom Ollie King. So proving himself to be a very, very accurate free taker right throughout this campaign. And the important first score on the board for Castlegar. The ball is poked out quickly by the Marty Davern, a very experienced keeper. Another foul there, this time on Seamus Maloney, first cousin of Liam, centre back. And the free will be taken once again by Michael Menton. So from around the centre of the field, over on the far wing from us here, Michael Menton pulls it back a small bit. And Michael looks rather very, very overcast conditions here at Kenny Park at the rise. We follow the play into the centre of the defence there. Tom Connolly puts up his hand, but it comes back now to the fullback Dermot Moore. And Dermot Moore gets it out along the sideline, over the far sideline, and it's a sideline ball which will be taken by Seamus Maloney. Seamus also played indeed county minor. The white helmet is Seamus now. He's just outside the 20-metre line. Getting ready to launch this one. A lovely cutting across the middle there now. Of course, Tom Connolly, the ball is intercepted, and the referee indeed has seen something as well. He wants that to be taken again, it seems. And Eamon Whelan seems to be leaving the field for the moment. He's having a word. He's actually left. I believe the whistle is gone. So as the whistle is gone, we get an opportunity. Tony Keady here doesn't seem to be too amused. But obviously from the early stages of this game, Sean Walsh, just joined here by Sean Walsh of the Galway Bay FM Sports Desk. Sean, very trying conditions out there for all of the players.
Yeah, very trying, Joe. It's very noticeable that it's quite hard to control the ball, and both teams are just getting used to each other. Very noticeable that Castlegar are using Pádraig Kane in a roving role, bringing him out from the right corner and leaving Seamus Murphy and Matthew Conroy inside. It'll be interesting to see how that works for them as the game progresses.
Well, yes, as we look now, we see Pádraig Kane, and Pádraig with number 13 on his back is back, in fact, in his own half backline, one would say. He's on the 20-metre line, the Castlegar 20-metre line, and coming very close to brother Peter, who's in there, the left corner roll. So we follow the play. The ball breaks in now, and it comes to the aforementioned Pádraig Kane. And Pádraig first times it, a great delivery from Pádraig Kane. Gets it through to Pat Burke. Pat doesn't manage to get it, but John Kane is there. John Kane gets it out now, and it's cleared by right half back Tom Kane. Tom gets the ball out now with Tom Connolly. One of the Connolly brothers launches another attack for Castlegar, and Niall Duffy's all alone. Niall blocks it out now. Blocks it out towards the centre back Liam Maloney, but Liam is dispossessed by Pat Burke. The ball breaks out there now to the young Matthew Conroy. Matthew trying to get in along the ground, gets a beautiful in. One into Tommy Duggan. Tommy Duggan is all alone. Raymond Lando Lawless blocks down that first shot. Tommy Duggan now trying to go through in a typical position, and he's well robbed indeed there. Well dispossessed by Raymond Lawless. Captain leading by example. The ball is out to Pat Burke. Pat blocks it out, but out there now is Tom Kane. Tom Kane, Burke still in possession. And Pat Burke is fouled again, so it's the second foul on Pat. Another opportunity for Tom Ollie King to register another score from about 35 yards out from the Rahoon goal. As we said earlier on, this Rahoon side managed by Brendan Linsky, and he's getting assistance from Tony Keady, who seems to be on this side of the field. And Tom Ollie King, another chance for him now to extend Castlegar's lead. So obviously Eamon Whelan got the problem with his whistle sorted out. Blocked into low, Seamus Murphy. Seamus Murphy now following that ball, brings it out to him, has it up on his ball out now. John Kelly is out there now, the ball is pulled on, cleared eventually. Out towards us here in the middle of the field. Very scrappy play there now as the players fall. Sean Collin tries to get possession. Larry Jurek tips it out. Pádraig Kane, another pull there, a tough pull between himself. Ball is kept in play, and left hand forward Michael Walsh, the Exley Mellows man now, is fouled. In fact, no, he's actually called, play is called up because referee Eamon Whelan has adjudged him to have overcarried there. So Tom King is right under us here in the stand. That was Michael Walsh, as we said, who used to line out with Liam Mellows. There has been always a lot of fluctuation at times between Liam Mellows and Rahoon. One remembers Matthias O'Malley and Willie Concannon, two great heroes of old, as we follow the play. And a fine free lobbed in there now in around the square, a dangerous one. Seamus Murphy trying to pull on that ball there. The ball is scooped out out towards the far side there now where Jimmy Shaughnessy is going for that ball. So also is Michael Minton. Shaughnessy gets it up, gets it in, gets a stroke in. Rondo Lawless is there, pulls on it. Back there is Matthew Conroy. Matthew Conroy now, one of the most dangerous Castlegar forwards. Larry Jurek is back there. So also is John Kane. The ball comes out towards the middle to Tom King. Tom King now taps it out across to Jimmy Shaughnessy. Jimmy controls it nicely. Number 17 on his back, goes to the left and heads a stroke. And a lovely point. Some good work there done by Matthew Conroy across to Tom Ollie. And Tom Ollie released the ball to Jimmy Shaughnessy, the substitute, and he gets his first point of the game. And Castlegar second. And we make it just over 6 minutes of play. But of course there was that stoppage while Eamon Whelan left the field as Marty Davern, Rahoon's very experienced netminder, pucks the ball out towards this side of the field here where centre forward, and a tough pull there, indeed a tough pull on the Rahoon centre forward Michael Joyce by Tommy Duggan and Larry Jurek. The Portumna man, a man who was lined out with Portumna and also with the Menlo Emmets. Larry playing at left half back. Sets about taking this free. The rain pouring down here. Nasty rain indeed, misty rain as Larry drives it. A fine drive by Larry into the heart of the Cashel defence. And up there is Mike Joyce. Tom Connolly puts up the hand, but back there is Moran. Moran one-handed gets it out. Out towards Tommy Duggan here. Tommy Duggan now going for the ball. Tommy has it. Quick delivery from Tommy. Gets it up to Larry Jurek. Larry fails to manage to get that one, but Liam Maloney is back there. Liam fails to control it. Very difficult conditions here for the players. But one man who does manage to get it is Matthew Conroy. This delightful hurler, this minor, gets the ball in. Seamus Maloney going for it, so also is Lawless. Maloney is back there first. Seamus Maloney trying to clear his lines and does manage to do so with a great effect, getting out to the middle of the field to Sean Colleran. Sean Colleran on the ball there. Peter Kane is there. And John Kelly is being spoken to there by the referee for that tackle on Peter Kane. Meanwhile, Mike Minton now going to take this one. It's a low one up along to Peter Kane. Peter Kane now tries to launch that ball in across in towards the middle, where it's beautifully taken by Seamus Maloney, but his shot is blocked down. The ball is eventually cleared by the Cashel defence. It comes out here between Larry Jurek and Tommy Duggan. A hard pull there. Hurley goes from Larry Jurek, but back there to cover is Mike Minton. Mike sends Rahoon on the attack again, gets it in towards the left corner of the Rahoon attack there. Shawnee Davern overruns it. Shawnee's in possession now, coming through. Shawnee's tackle gets it across to Mike Joyce. Mike slips. Ball comes out to John Kelly. John Kelly pulls. Also does Tom Connolly. Ball breaking out nicely to Michael Lawless. Michael has a shot, and this is the first score for Rahoon. As the cheers go up, yes, it's a fine score by Michael Lawless from that breaking ball about 25 yards out to the left, and Michael registered Rahoon's first score. And as you can hear from the crowd here, indeed, delighted and rapturous Rahoon support here today. So if they haven't taken the train out, as we said since in that earlier excerpt from 1908, they certainly have taken the cars, because there's a great support here. One sees Tommy Griffin all the way up from Limerick to support the Griffin name, long associated with the Rahoon club as well. And Tom Connolly seems to have incurred an injury there, sustained an injury. Tom, who lined out already, one of the Connolly clan, lined out already in that 87 junior winning side, as indeed did Jerry Duggan, Tommy Duggan, Pat Burke and John Kelly. So Tom is going to play on, trying to lift his players there with ginger-haired Jerry Duggan between the posts, ready to launch a long puck out. Jerry has a fine puck out, and it is his usual customary long one. Out to the Rahoon half-back line here, breaks there, the half-forward line. John Kelly pulls, so also does Colleran. Comes back there now to, comes into Seamus Murphy, and Seamus having a quick look around, gets it in low, but back there is Niall Duffy. Niall is all alone due to the fact that Pádraig Kane, as marker, of course, is playing a very deep role out towards the middle of the field. Ball comes down to Mick Minton, and Mick didn't get away with that one. Eamon was right under his eyes. Ball hopped in his hand, and referee Eamon Whelan was on hand to award the free to Castlegar and Tom King. Tom Ollie King now will take this free about 50 yards out from the Rahoon goal. So an opportunity for him to get his second point of the game, and also Castlegar's third. And a low trajectory struck to the right and wide. So an untypical shot from Tom King. He's been slotting them over all season in the various victories. A vital cog, his accuracy, and a vital factor in their victories to date. So Marty Davern now will launch Rahoon on another attack from the puck out. This one falls short. Pat Burke has the hand up, but it's pulled on by Maloney. Gets it up to Peter Kane. And Peter Kane now is on a run. Peter soloing to the heart of the defence. He's tackled there by wing-back Colm Kelly, but the ball comes out now to centre fielder Mike Minton, who gets it in towards the left corner. The left corner of attack back there. Sean Davern runs out for it. Back there as well as Tom Healy. Tom Healy, of course, the county minor who had a great year this year, Tom. The ball is launched in again. Ball breaks dangerously there, and in there's Brian Clarty, and the ball is blocked. Exciting moments in around the square there. And the Castlegar defender coming out chooses to kick it. Mike Minton's back there, now gets the ball through. The hurley slipping out of his hands. Desperate conditions out here today in this junior final. As the ball breaks out now towards the middle of the field, where Mike choices it is there. And Mike launches it, but it's to the right, left and wide. So that's another wide for Rahoon. But anxious moments in around the defence there. The Cashel defence with Brian Cloherty at right corner forward, following that great work by Peter Kane. Peter, number 15 on his back, and he seems to be, in fact, following his brother Pádraig around the place. So the two of them are out there in the middle of the field now, marking each other, and in at full-back, Sean Davern seems to have moved to the left corner position. So obviously an attempt to stymie this extra man around the middle of the field. Peter had a rip-roaring run through the defence there, the Cashel defence. A great run, and it nearly resulted in a major score when Brian Cloherty was rather unfortunate to see his shot deflected. Hung dangerously for a moment around the square and then was eventually cleared. So Jerry Duggan launches another puck out for Castlegar. The ball breaks to the middle of the field. Colleran is there, so also is Kelly. Liam Maloney is there. A lot of tough pulling with the ball. Eventually got through here. Up towards right half forward, Seamus Maloney. A beautiful stroke from Maloney. In towards Sean Davern. But Sean Davern is fouled there by right corner back John Connor. John, of course, who spent some years in Boston and also lined out with the Castlegar seniors. And Larry Jurek and Tommy Duggan meanwhile continue with the play, but we follow Eamon Whelan calling for the ball back there. It's a free and an opportunity for Rahoon to level matters. Scoreline reads Castlegar 2 points, Rahoon 1. So we make it about 12 minutes play gone in this game. With an added 2, and Mike Minton makes no mistake this time. Michael Minton, very accurate from frees as well as Michael. And the former Ballinasloe club man equalises matters. So it's all square here at Kenny Park, Athenry, in this County Junior A Hurling Championship final. Played in overcast conditions and very difficult underfoot conditions. Players coping admirably indeed with the great difficulty that they're encountering out there with the ground underfoot. Ball is pucked out by Jerry Duggan out to the middle of the field. It's blocked down nicely there by Peter Kane. Mike Joyce is there, so also is Pádraig Kane. Mike pulls. Pádraig Kane quick in the pull there. Tom Connolly is there trying to retrieve the situation for Castlegar. Ball breaks out. Sean Colleran is back there, so also is Pádraig Kane. Nicely hit away by Peter Brother. Michael Walsh manages to get it in along the ground, but it's a short one to Tom Healy. Tom, what a year Tom has had. A county minor final replay awaiting Tom Healy there, and also, of course, his All-Ireland medal earlier on. And, of course, not forgetting the All-Ireland Vocational Schools. 2 All-Ireland medals in 1 year. A great year for this young man from Castlegar. Seamus Maloney is back there. The ball is pulled on first time by Michael Joyce, but nobody in there, and the ball goes to the right and wide. So, all to play for still, Sean Walsh, in this game here at Kenny Park, Athenry.
Yeah, very much so, Joe. Castlegar settled down a lot earlier and went 2 points ahead, but in the last 5-6 minutes, Rahoon have begun to make some inroads and have got the 2 points and are right back in it. Very, very exciting contest so far.
Very exciting indeed, and very little between these sides, as Sean said. The ball pucked out there in the middle of the field. Jimmy Shaughnessy pulls. Peter Kane now getting to get the better of his brother Pádraig out there in the middle of the field. Tom Connolly now bursting through from centre field, looking for somebody to hit that ball to, but he's fouled, taken down unceremoniously there by Sean Colleran, and it's a free in, and Tom King will have another chance to regain the lead for Castlegar. Exuberant support here behind us from both sides. Again, of course, reflecting the great rivalry that has existed since the Westport days between these two teams. Tom Molly King now standing over this free, 60 metres out from goal. It's a low one, finding it difficult to raise the ball. Players coming out now. Pat Burke is back there, and Pat trying to get the ball out, but it's cleared by Londa Lawless, and a late pull there from somebody on Pat Burke, it seems, and the ball, it's a free in. So the tall figure of Pat Burke there, who captains this junior side for Castlegar, leaving the opportunity for Matthew Conroy now, who will take this one. So Matthew, who's their accurate free taker on the minor side, is taking over the duties from Tom King. Tom having difficulty rising the ball, but in fairness to anybody playing out there today, conditions are very, very difficult. Matthew scored 2 from frees last Saturday in the County Minor A final. This time he has difficulty as well in rising it. An indication of how difficult things are, and John Kane clears. A mighty relieving clearance out to Pádraig Kane. Pádraig followed by brother Peter. Gets the ball in. It's a short one. But back there, it's well taken down by Mike Minton, who's playing a star game there in the middle of the field. He gets it down towards the right half forward position. Mike Joyce is back there. Tom Connolly's back there. Mike has hooshed off the ball, and in fact fouled, says referee Eamon Whelan. And it's a free in, which obviously Mike Minton will again take. Well, the scoreline reads Castlegar 2 points, Rahoon 2 points. Michael Menton running up now. So obviously Rahoon have rearranged their forces to suit, taking Peter Kane out to midfield to mark the roving Porrick, his brother. 15 and Peter's back, and Porrick wearing number 3. Mike Minton launches a long one in. Mike Walsh going for there, trying to tip it on. Tom Healy falls, so also does Sean Davern, but the ball comes out here. We follow the play, and the ball comes into the middle of the field again, where Lee Maloney is there. Liam tries to clear it, finding it very difficult. Ball breaks now to right half back Tom Kane, but it's eventually cleared by John Kane. And John Kane gets it out as far as Jimmy. Shocked to see Jimmy still diving after that ball. Sean Collar now trying to kick it on. Tip it on. Sean has it now. He's in possession. Gets it on to Seamus Maloney, and a foul there on Sean Collarn. So it's another free, and Mick Menton will again take this opportunity, or tend to take this opportunity of scoring to put Rahoon into the lead for the first time in the game. It's about 50 yards out from goal, maybe 55 yards, a little bit to the right. Michael Menton has a good look at the posts. Scored a point already, Michael, from play. This one veering to the right and wide, so it's still 2 points apiece. Michael failing to add to his other point from a free there earlier on. Pulled to the right a bit, as Jerry Duggan prefers to take another puck out. So Porrick Kane attempting to lead his brother Peter a merry dance out around the middle of the field here, but Peter is having none of it. Brotherly love, you may call this, but the ball, we follow the play. The ball is out to the middle of the field, and right half back Tom Kane is back there. Water, muck and everything rising over there as John Kelly launches an attack for Castlegar. Gets the ball in now. Niall Duffy is back there, but it comes to Seamus Murphy. Seamus hand passes it out. Nicely taken down there though by Rahoon defender coming out. That's Larry Jurek, who manages to take that out nicely. Comes out to Colleran, but they're having great difficulty now. Players slithering all over the place out here in Kenny Park at the Rye, with Tom Connolly all alone. Tom delivers it quickly. Fine strike from Tom Connolly into the half hour, and Niall Duffy is in there. So also Matthew Duffy one-handed gets it in, but John Kane is back. John playing very well and solidly. A great defender is John Kane, clearing up everything there at the back in a sweeper's roll. Gets the ball up now over this one, his clearance and out, and we can see with the water splashing how difficult conditions are out there. So no great pattern to this game, indeed difficult to establish a pattern to the game, with conditions being most unfavourable to the players. Certainly not conducive to skillful hurling, and what a pity with the good weather that we have had. We've had a very lucky run with the senior finals, indeed, and the minor final, that the day would be so bad and making conditions so difficult. But the ball comes now to John Kane once again, and John playing a stormer there at right half back. John rather lucky maybe to come out with that one. I think he had the foot up coming out to Pat Burke. Pat and himself exchanged words there, but John Kane, ever dependable at right cornerback, has earned himself a free. And this free will be taken by Mike Minton, so Mike will have to run back. No, John himself is going to have a go at this one. A man who has plenty of hurling experience from his days in St. Mary's College as well. A noted dual player. John lifts and strikes. It's a good one from John Kane up towards the right corner for position. Brian Clardy's back there. The ball breaks from John Tierney's hands, but back there to clear up is Tom Connolly, playing very well out towards Peter Kane. And Peter has one look at the post, and there's a point from Peter Kane. Yes, Peter Kane has registered a fine score. A fine score from Peter Kane. And he's managed to escape the vigilant eye of brother Porrick there, and scored a fine puck from a fine point from about 45 to 50 yards out there on 21 minutes. 21 minutes gone of the game, and Rahoon in the lead for the first time. A jubilant and excited Rahoon crowd here. Clear cheer that. The two Kane brothers again added a lot of excitement to this encounter. The two Kane brothers lining out against each other. The ball breaks through now for Brian Clardy, but it's caught in the muck there. Hooshed out by Sean Davern. Gets it out across. Tierney is back there, but the ball eventually tipped out wide. Conditions very, very difficult. Perhaps an opportunity, but then again the ball got stuck in the mud there, as Sean Davern endeavoured to hook it in to the path of Brian Clardy. And Brian, yet another experienced player. So Jerry Duggan has the towel in there in the goal mouth. Did a very necessary addition to his equipment today, as Dermot Moran, I think, has suffered an injury. So they're calling for attention for Dermot Moran. Of course, just as easy to be mud in the eye now as anything else, with the manner in which muck is being raised out there in the middle of the field. So Mort Connolly going out to Porrick here now with the towel. As we follow the play. Well, Sean Walsh, your thoughts on the game? Rahoon seem to have steadied up a small bit. Having said that, still very little between the teams.
Yeah, very little between them. An excellent Peter Kane point there that has really galvanised Rahoon's effort. Just when we were beginning to think, was it worthwhile having the two brothers out in the midfield area with the loose man in both full back lines? But Rahoon beginning to settle. Mike Joyce doing well at centre forward, and still we're in for a tense game.
In for a very tense game now, and whether that was muck in the eye or whatever, we don't know. But Dermot Moran resumes his position at full back for Castlegar. And Jerry Duggan now, having cleaned his hurley as well, will launch another attack. 21 minutes gone in this game. A little bit more now as the ball is pucked out towards the middle of the field. Tom Connolly running for there. Tom going to pull. Tom gets it nicely. Mike Joyce tries to block him down, but Tom gets a stroke in towards Rondo Lawless. Rondo bats it out now, but it comes only as far as Seamus Murphy, who seems to have moved out towards centre half forward. He hits the ball beautifully across, diagonally across to Matthew Conroy. Matthew trying a one-handed lift, but certainly not a day for one-handed lifts, and he's followed closely by John Kane. John Kane certainly playing very, very well in there in the corner. The ball breaks out now towards Liam Maloney. Liam Maloney trying to get the ball through. Matthew Conroy's in there again. Matthew trying to get it in on the ground. The ball breaks towards Tommy Duggan. It's tipped out now towards Tom Ali King. Tom's shot is blocked down. In towards Duggan. Lots of Pat Burker's in there trying to hoosh the ball in. He gets it through to Seamus Murphy. Oh, Seamus nearly had it. The ball is cleared out towards the middle of the field. John Kelly is back there. John has it up in his hand, trying to make room for himself, trying to get through. Gets it to Tommy Duggan. Tommy Duggan has another chance of a score, and he gets a score from about just outside 20 metres out. Tommy Duggan gets his first score of the game and equalises matters once again. And 23 minutes of play. The scoreline reads Rahoon 3 points, Castlegar 3 points. So exciting fair here. And what a pity indeed conditions are so bad, because both of these sides serving up very entertaining hurling in the trying conditions. Taking into consider a beautiful bat down there from Tommy Duggan. Gets the ball back to Niall Duffy. Niall Duffy's back there now trying to clear his lines. Gets it out only as far as Tommy Duggan, who just got that score. And Tommy is tackled by Larry Durack. And tackled fairly heavily, says referee Eamon Whelan. Larry a little bit unlucky perhaps there. Conditions, I think, more than anything else affected. But that challenge was looked more serious than it actually was, as Tom King has another chance here, going to have another go at taking a free. Right under us here in the stand. He's about 50 yards out from goal, very much to the right. Looks a little bit in from the sideline. This is an opportunity for Castlegar to regain their lead that they established after just 2 minutes of play with that point, which was scored by Tommy Duggan. By Tom King. So that one wide again, so it still remains the score. Castlegar 3 points, Rahoon 3 points. And Marty Davern now about to puck out yet again. The field getting quite cut up out in the middle of the field there now. As Marty has a quick look around him, takes the puck out to the middle of the field. Blocked down there now, or into the hands of Tom King. Tom King launches an attack, tries to get his attack moving. Matthew Conroy back there. John Kane is also back there. John, beautifully done by John Kane, scoops it out to Liam Maloney. Liam Maloney lifts and strikes, gets it up towards the right corner where Cloherty is there, so also is Mike Joyce, but Tom Connolly is there. Ever vigilant Tom is there, but just manages to get it out over the sideline, and it's a sideline ball. Sideline about 50 yards out from the goal, and Seamus Maloney will take this sideline. The white helmeted Seamus, product of the Rahoon Newcastle underage sides. Seamus is a quick look around. Lovely striker is Seamus. We're hoping to get his usual stroke in, but this one doesn't go too far. Goes to left half back. Colm Kelly is there, but the ball breaks through now to Maloney. Gets it in across again. Tom Kane is up there. Ball is in, or it's collared, in fact. The ball comes through to Tom Connolly. Tom faced to get possession of Brian Cloherty. Speeds for Cloherty, gets it in across. Moran is there, the full back. Gets it down, attempts to get it out. And the ball is scooped in by Cloherty. Comes only as far as Paulie Kane, who's back indeed helping out in defence. And there is left goal back John Tierney, and John Tierney clears it out towards Mike Minton. Mike Minton is out there now. Mike trying to shake off the attentions of Ali King. He's soloing in around the right wing. He's 20 metres out from goal, trying to get in his stroke, trying to pass it in, but he's hooshed off the ball, eventually loses possession, and Maloney is back there. Seamus Maloney fails to get that ball. The ball is cleared by Castlegar defender. Comes eventually Jimmy Shaughnessy out to the middle of the field. King, but Larry Jurek blocks it down. Larry Jurek is back there again. Larry now in possession. 3 Castlegar men around him there, and he's trying to get through, and he's fouled. So Larry Jurek there moving very far up from defence. And in fact it was Larry, I think, that got that ball in initially with a ground pull into Brian Cloherty. So Mike Minton now has an opportunity to regain the lead for Rahoon. Castlegar 3 points, Rahoon 3 points. 27 minutes coming up to half time. Mike lifts and he strikes. And a beautiful stroke from Mike Minton, and he earns his second point. A great psychological boost that's just coming up to half time. A vital score, putting Rahoon into the lead again by just 1 point. It's 4 points to 3. Good point by Mike Minton. That's his second. Michael Walsh and Peter Kane, the other point scorers for Rahoon. Well, Tommy Duggan, Tom King and Jimmy Shaughnessy were the point scorers for Castlegar. The ball is pucked out by Jerry Duggan. John Kelly is under there, he puts up the hand. So also there's Mike Menton, and we have a little bit of a scrum out there in the middle of the field, but everybody's up. Mike Menton was injured in that one, and he certainly would be a loss. And Sean Collar, and they clashed with each other there. Menton is down, we follow the play. The ball goes up to the far side of the field. Colm Kelly is back there. Colm Kelly, who was picked at right half back, but is lined out at left half back in a switch with Tom Healy. Ball coming up to Tom Ali King. But it's Mike Joyce is back there. Mike trying to get that ball up. He has it up. Great battler is Mike Joyce, and he's eventually fouled. And yes, the robust Mike tearing through there, showing his determination as Mike Menton remains down. His attention, the referee's attention hasn't been, well, now it has been brought to the fact that Michael Menton, he was injured in that collision in the middle of the field, and what a blow he would be to Rahoon. Mike, who has indeed played a star role for Rahoon in all of their games to date. Matty O'Toole running out there with the magic box. So obviously anxious moments out there. One notices Peter Griffin out there giving assistance as well. And as we take this small break here just before half-time, there's still very little between these sides and all to play for. Sean Walsh.
Yeah, very much the case all the time. Interesting to see that it really is a game not for the faint-hearted. Very difficult to control the ball. Both teams using an awful lot of determination and producing a good game here. Conditions are really not ideal, and it really is going to be the team that with a greater heart and the greater commitment that are going to come out on top in this one.
Well, certainly two very committed sides, as we have seen, as Sean just said there, two very committed sides lining out here in the middle of the field, and Mike Menton is still hobbling a small bit. If he manages to get through to half-time, perhaps they might manage to work the magic, the bottle on him, but he's still limping quite a bit, having difficulty putting that left foot under him. And certainly it would be a severe loss to Rahoon were he to be injured, because he has scored those 2 points, and he has done a lot of good play indeed. He's been involved in a lot of the play around the middle of the field. So Tom Connolly seems to be down as well, and Tom, of course, anything happened to Tom, the heart of the Castlegar defence, that would be a big worry to them as well, because Tom has been a great servant of the club, indeed, as all the Connolly family have. And Tom, with Murt, his brother, under us on the sideline here, watching on anxiously as well. Castlegar mentors are in there, and Castlegar, of course, have had John Walsh as trainer, their senior captain, for the last while. And great interest in hurling in Castlegar again, with their involvement in the County Minor A final as well, in that great game against Clarn Bridge, when they upset the form book a little bit. Many people had tipped Clarn Bridge to win that title easily, but certainly Castlegar, the great battlers they were, fought back in flying style, and indeed were led for so long during that minor game. Well, we're back with the play, and Michael Menton now just before half-time as an opportunity of, in fact, extending Rahoon's lead. It's about 50 yards out, very much to the right, but this one actually I think is pulled to the right, and it's wide. So I imagine that Eamon Whelan will be blowing the half-time whistle shortly, with the scoreline reading just coming up to half-time. Rahoon 4 points, Castlegar 3 points. And Mike Menton is down again. He's really in difficulty, I'm afraid, poor Menton. And the referee has allowed attention again for Michael Menton, so it looks as though he's going to hobble off the field after that. In fact, he's being carried off. So that's an enormous loss to Rahoon. I'm just wondering, are they going to... And a very sporting clap for a great sportsman and a great servant to the Rahoon club, and indeed always a sportsman on the field. But that certainly is a big loss, Sean Walsh, to Rahoon's hopes.
Very much so, Joe. Mike was doing very well in the midfield exchanges, but also was doing well from the frees, and we've seen from the problems that Castlegar are having with the free taking today. It's a very difficult day for free taking, and he's a huge blow to Rahoon at this stage.
Well, a huge blow. There couldn't be much left in this half. We haven't managed to ascertain the identity of the substitute who come in yet, but we do know that Tom Kane has gone out to midfield at the moment. Peter Kane is back there. Meanwhile, we follow the play. Larry Jurek, and a big pull there, yes, more like water polo out there, but the man going away with the ball is Tommy Duggan. Tommy, a real speedster indeed, has lined out on numerous occasions for the Castlegar senior side. And with a long flowing hair, very typical, and the substitute is number 16, Sean Byrne. So Sean Byrne is in at right half back. Another product of the Rahoon Newcastle underage system and teams. And Tom King has an opportunity to level matters now. He's being told by Eamon Whelan to hurry up. He's about 55 yards out, a little bit to the right from the Rahoon goal, and he sends it direct and through over the black spot and equalises for Castlegar. So it's now 4 points apiece, and that's Tom King's second point from a free. So things are looking up again for Castlegar. And certainly, I suppose, that injury to Michael Menton. Looking across the field, we see that Michael, in fact, is going to be carried towards the dressing room. So certainly, the anxious Rahoon supporters will be worried about that. We follow the play. The ball comes to Mike Joyce, a bundling and bustling player, tears through the defence, and very, very harsh tackle there by John Kelly. He turns around, as a word to say, but it doesn't worry Mike Joyce. He's a very robust and strong player indeed, a great leader of their attack, and it results now, in fact, in the name of John Kelly entering the book. And John, I suppose, has been in the wars earlier on as well, so it was inevitable that his name would be taken for that tackle, that high tackle on Mike Joyce. So now, in the absence of Mike Menton, Seamus Maloney is going to attempt to put this one over the bar. Seamus has been given the free-taking duties now, and he's about 50 yards out, a little bit to the right from the post, and this could give the lead to Rahoon just before half-time, but this one swings to the right and wide. Well, in fairness to Seamus Maloney, needing to all the other free-takers today, conditions absolutely desperate, and no one can take any blame to any of the free-takers for failing to get the ball between the posts today. Difficult enough to keep their feet on the ground, indeed. And the brotherly love of Porrick and Peter Kane, still epitomised in their midfield tussle here. They're still out here with us in the middle of the field as Eamon Whelan calls for half-time. So the half-time score reads Castlegar 4 points, Rahoon 4 points, and Sean Walsh, it's still all to play for.
Yeah, very, very much so. The loss of Michael Menton is a big blow to Rahoon. Tom King, fair play to him, he showed a fair bit of character, came back and got that last free for Castlegar when things weren't going too well for him earlier on. But both defences are on top, and as I said earlier, it's really going to boil down to the team with a greater heart on the day. But I tell you, we're in for some second half.
In for some second half. That's Sean Walsh, of course, reporting for Galway Bay FM here today in Kenny Park at Athenry, and looking out at the conditions there, the overcast sky, the rain seems to have subsided now, or the mist, but the park itself indeed in desperate conditions of following the incessant rain. Well, we're back with the action here at Kenny Park at Athenry, the two sides coming out, and indeed the scoreline reads Rahoon 4 points, Castlegar 4 points, an intriguing second half in prospect here. And just at half-time there, we noticed that one of the Castlegar substitutes, Kieran Shaughnessy, was called in. We haven't noticed if Kieran is out in the field yet, but indeed we'll keep you informed of that. And we noticed that Tom Connolly had a bit of difficulty with his hamstring, and he's a big support bandage around his thigh now at the moment, as Eamon Whelan prepares to start this second half. 4 points each. 2 points by Michael Menton, who was taken off, indeed injured, in that first half, a vital loss for Rahoon. And the other 2 points scored by Michael Walsh and Peter Kane. Tom King had 2 for Castlegar, Tommy Duggan had 1, and Jimmy Shaughnessy. So as the proverbial blackcoats go to the dugouts on the far side of the field, Eamon Whelan has a quick look at the watch, ready to start this game, just coming up to 25 minutes past 3, and they're away. And the ball gets straight away into Shawnee Davern in a centre half forward position. He's moved out deep now. Sean has a quick look around, trying to get Rahoon on the attack, gets it in towards the right corner back position, but back there to clear his lines is right half back Colm Kelly. The ball is well blocked down there by Brian Flaherty, and Mike Joyce is on the burst now. Mike trying to get Rahoon on the attack, but as a free, he's fouled once again. He's earned a lot of frees today, Mike Joyce. His robust play, Castlegar are finding difficult to contend with, and that shot there blocked down. Mike in possession, and it's a free end. So Seamus Maloney will get an opportunity now to regain the lead for Rahoon. He's about 30 yards out from goal, a little bit to the right. Seamus stoops down low to get this one up properly, and he gets it over the bars. So Seamus Maloney adds to the tally and puts, in the very first minute of play in the second half, puts Rahoon back into the lead. So it's 5 points to 4. First point for Seamus Maloney, who has taken over the free-taking duties following the injury to Michael Menton. Puck out taken now by Jerry Duggan out to the middle of the field, over to the far side. Larry Jurek is back there. The ball eventually cleared down by Mike Lawless, or by Michael Walsh. Comes to Tom Healy, and Tom gets the ball, but unfortunately for Castlegar, goes out over the sideline. And Larry Jurek there from the middle of the field gets a chance. And Eamon Whelan trying to clear the sideline back there. He's trying to get the officials back a distance from play, as Larry Jurek prepares to take the sideline ball. Eamon Whelan now tries to keep the sidelines clear. 5 points to 4. Just 2 minutes of play, and a lovely cut taken by Larry Jurek in towards the full forward line. Shawnee Davern goes up high, tries to catch it. Gets the ball out to Mike Joyce. Mike now gets the stroke in. The ball comes into Jerry Duggan. Well controlled by Duggan in the trying conditions. Well cleared. He falls over there, but he manages to get his clearance in. And the battling Mike Joyce is out there. Mike pulls, gets the ball in, but the ball goes out over the sideline. It's a sideline ball. Himself and John Kelly pulled on that ball. The sideline ball. And Tom Healy, the young miner from Castlegar, will take this Tom, who played at full-back for the Miners last Sunday, was chosen to play at left half-back today, but moved, in fact, at the start of the game to right half-back. So Tom Healy takes another lovely sideline cut here. Larry Jurek pulls, Tommy Duggan pulls, and Larry tips it out over the sideline, and it's a sideline ball for Castlegar. So it's 5 points to 4. Rahoon making the early running in the second half as the long flowing here of Tommy Duggan takes a fine sideline cut into the heart of the Rahoon defence. The ball tipped down there by right full back John Kane. Niall Duffy's in possession now, trying to get his ball out. Pádraig Kane is back there, but he can only manage to get it out over the sideline for a sideline ball for Castlegar again, and Tommy Duggan will try from about 18 metres out to get this ball in across, in around the square, in around the house, into Hell's Kitchen there, where Pat Burke, captain of the Castlegar side, is now being marked by the tall and lanky Ray Londro Lawless. The ball comes in, but it goes out over the sideline, pulled to the right and wide. And Ray Lawless there and Pat Burke exchange pleasantries. And referee Eamon Whelan's attention is being called to something. Pat Burke seems to have been injured there in that little exchange of pleasantries. And Eamon Whelan now walking over to his two umpires inside. And the book is coming out, I think. Yes, Eamon Whelan's black book is coming out. And he's speaking sternly to the captain of the Rahoon side. Well, no, he hasn't booked him, but he's speaking in a rather stern fashion to him, to Ray Lawless. Pat Burke coming out to resume his position again for Castlegar, as the ball is going to be pucked out by Marty Davern. Marty pucks the ball out to the middle of the field. John Kelly there, the ball is broken down by the Castlegar midfield, but it's Liam Maloney getting Rahoon on the attack, up to Michael Walsh. Michael tries to tip it on. Tom Healy is there. Is the ball through to Tom Connolly now, bursting out of defence. Tom tearing out of defence. He's fouled and it's a free up as Tom Connolly tries to urge his players on in the early stages of this second half, and Tom himself, I think, is going to take it. He refuses the assistance of a towel. Stripes the hurley 60 metres out from his own goal. And Tom Connolly will launch a long one, he hopes, into the Rahoon defence. Ball's a bit short, the wind pulls it back. The ball is attempted to block out there by Larry Jury, but it comes to Maloney. Lee Maloney trying to clear the ball now, trying to clear his lines, trying to get the ball out. Lee Maloney still in possession, bursting out of defence now. Gets it on his favoured left position, gets it up towards the left half forward position. Back there's Peter Kane with the ball now, deceiving all the players out in the middle of the field. Pulled on by Lee Maloney, but Larry Jurek has fouled John Kelly out there, I think, and it's a free in for Castlegar. Tom Connolly will have another opportunity of launching Castlegar on the attack in the early stages of this second half. Rahoon 5 points, Castlegar 4 points. So the question remains, will Castlegar win their first junior title since 1987, or will Rahoon win their first junior title since 1970? So the crowd is hushed now. 60 metres out from the Rahoon goal, Tom Connolly has a good look at the post. He steadies himself well and then launches a long one in, and Tom, a fine strike by Tom, but it goes to the right and wide. He had the distance, but not the accuracy, but a good effort to the trying conditions from Tom Connolly as Marty Davern prepares. Marty, of course, associated with Rahoon like the Davern family have been over many, many years. And Marty launches a long puck out towards the middle of the field, coming towards Mike Joyce, who moves out well to get that one. He tries to grab it up, but as Tommy Duggan gets the breaking ball, and Tommy can only get it out over the sideline for a sideline ball for Rahoon, which will be taken by Larry Jurek. So Larry Jurek now 55 metres out from his own goal. Sideline ball and another nice sideline cut. And towards the middle, up goes Joyce. Joyce tries to grab onto it. Tom Healy is there. Joyce trying to get it up. Manages to get it, and Mike is away. Mike Joyce tearing through the heart of the Cashel defence. Pulling on the ball. Very strong player, Mike Joyce. Gets it out towards Michael Walsh. Mike gets it across again to Mike Joyce. Dispossessed this time. Back there, Tom Kane pulls. The ball breaks eventually to Matthew Conroy. Matthew Conroy launches an attack in between Rondo Lawless and Pat Burke. The ball breaks out between them. Pádraig Kane is there, but so also is Niall Duffy. Niall gets it out. Larry Jurek is there. Tommy Duggan pulls. Lawless pulls. And Ray Lawless, I think, got the upper end of a stick there in that pull as he fell. And concern certainly in the Rahoon ranks that their captain got a blow, but typical of Rondo, he's up like a flash, shakes himself and going in to take his position, and a clap here from the Rahoon supporters welcoming their captain back to defence. Larry Jurek, meanwhile, to take the resultant free. He's about 45 metres out from his own goal. Far side of the field. Has a quick look around to see where he'll send this one. Sends it up low towards Michael Walsh. Michael now pulls on it. Ball breaks off Tom Healy, and in fact it is a sideline ball for Rahoon. And Michael Walsh moving over to take this resultant sideline ball. Well, no, Larry Jurek, in fact, coming up from his left half back position. Larry has struck some fine sideline balls today. Very close marker, sweet striker Larry Jurek. And Larry takes a beautiful cut right across the goal. Comes towards right half forward Seamus Maloney and attempted, oh, that was a close one. An attempted strike there, attempted bat in by Seamus Maloney as he moved into that one. It seemed to be going wide, but Maloney was on the end of it, and eventually the ball went out harmlessly over the sideline and wide. Seamus Maloney has now moved to right corner forward, and Brian Flaherty has moved out to right half forward to mark Colm Kelly. Meanwhile, we have another substitute here coming on the Rahoon side, and it looks as though it's Peter Griffin has come on the field. Peter Griffin has come on the field, and the substitute we mentioned for Castlegar, who has gone off? Sean Collarden seems to have gone off. As we have a quick look around, we notice that there's a lot of switching. Tom Ollie King has gone off, and in comes Kieran Shaughnessy, while Peter Griffin comes in at centre forward with Mike Joyce moving to midfield. Now we follow the play now with Matthew Conroy there, the minor trying to tip it along for himself, jinking through the Rahoon defence, gets the ball out across. Larry Jurek is back there to clear his lines. Larry first times it out towards John Kane. John grabs possession, controls, gets it out now to brother Tom. Tom Kane adds onto it, gets it into the right corner of the defence. Shawnee Davern now moves to get possession. Shawnee now trying to shake off the attention of Dermot Morton. He's running through. Shawnee has a quick look around. Shawnee is fouled. Is he? No. Yes, referee aiming the ball back, and Shawnee Davern fouled, and it's a free in. So just keeping an eye on the changes there now. Sean Byrne has come in. He's a substitute. He came in for Mike Menton, who was injured, and he's marking Matthew Conroy. And Peter Griffin it is, though, wearing 21 on his back. Matt McGrath, in fact, and the programme tells us it's 21, but it's Peter Griffin who's come in for Sean Collarden. Seamus Maloney now a chance to extend Rahoon's lead, and takes a fine score from around 20 metres out, well to the right, and a good score by Seamus Maloney, getting his second point of the game. So that's 6 points now for Rahoon. Castlegar 4 points, and the excited Rahoon following here, a big following from Rahoon indeed, getting behind their team and cheering on that score. Ball to be pucked out now by Jerry Duggan, pucks it out to the middle of the field, a good long puck out, some great puck outs from him. An attempted catch by Joyce, but it breaks to Michael Walsh. Michael now going in a typical solo run, no, leaves it to Michael Joyce. Intercepted there by Shaughnessy, by Jimmy Shaughnessy. Ball comes to Michael Walsh again. Michael Walsh this time elects to kick it, but kicks it only into Tom Connolly as centre back, and centre back launches it in between Tommy Duggan and Larry Jurek. Tommy Duggan and Larry Jurek going for position there. Tommy Duggan gets it in across in between Rondo Lawless and full forward Seamus Murphy. Ball comes to Kieran Shaughnessy, the substitute, leaves it for Seamus Murphy, in across to Pádraig Kane. Pádraig Kane has an opportunity. The ball is taken off the line. John Kane now trying to get it out of there, trying to get it out on the ground. And in there is big Shaughnessy, Kieran Shaughnessy, the other substitute, but the ball breaks to Larry Jurek. Tough pulling in there, but the ball comes out to Tommy Duggan, scoops it out to Matthew Conroy. Matthew Conroy has an opportunity, but it goes to the right and wide. So anxious moments in there in the Rahoon defence as that ball broke in there. Pádraig Kane, I suppose in any other day with conditions being in any way favourable, could have knitted a goal there for Castlegar, but eventually it was brought out by John Kane and hooshed out, and Matthew Conroy failed to capitalise on that scooped pass from Tommy Duggan. Ball out to the middle of the field again, out here indeed to what resembles more a skating rink than anything else. Mike Joyce is back there, some tough pulling, gets the ball through now. Larry Jurek is back there, so also is Duggan. Larry Jurek playing very well in defence for Rahoon, gets it to Mike Joyce. Mike gets Rahoon on the attack. Back there is Tierney. The ball tipped in nicely by Shawnee Davern, but out comes Duggan. The goalkeeper comes out. He cannot get it out too far. Out to the left wing here, where Colm Kelly is there. Colm now trying to shake off the attention of Brian Flaherty. He's fouled, and it's a free out to be taken. A free out for Castlegar. Colm Kelly there fouled by Brian Flaherty, with a dangerous situation being averted by Jerry Duggan there after a neat tap in by Shawnee Davern. Shawnee proving very, very dangerous in there. And proving more than a handful for the Castlegar fullback Dermot Moran. Well, Dermot, the aforementioned Dermot now, the fullback, is coming out to take this free. He's about 35 yards out from his own goal. Tom Connolly trying to lift the lads for one last effort. 6 points to 4 it reads, Rahoon leading. As Dermot lifts and he strikes, and it's a long one from Dermot. In towards the centre-back position there where Lee Maloney is there, so also is Pat Burke. He's moved out from full forward to centre-back now once again in a swap with Seamus Murphy. But the ball comes out to Matthew Conroy. Matthew fails to collect, and out comes Shawnee Byrne. Shawnee Byrne now, the helmeted Shawnee. Matthew followed by Matthew Conroy. Delivers it nicely in across to Brian Clarty. So also there is Seamus Maloney. 2 Rahoon men, 1 Castlegar man. Brian Clarty tipping it away from himself. Gets it in further in towards Shawnee Davern. But it's a free out. A free out. Eamon Whelan has blown the whistle. It's a free out. And what seemed to be a promising move for Rahoon broken down with a free. So this free will be taken once again by the Castlegar fullback Dermot Moran, a very strong player, Dermot. Waiting for the ball to be thrown to him. And Dermot Moran now will take this in the hope of perhaps trying to initiate a Castlegar attack. It's a long one once again by the fullback Dermot Moran. Back there is Mike Joyce. He puts up the hand, but coming out is Larry Jurek. Larry trying to control the ball. Has difficulty, clears it first time up towards Michael Walsh. Michael now going on one of his typical solo runs through the heart of the casual defence. He's still on a solo run. He's gone 30 metres. He's gone 40. Tipping it inside to Shawnee Davern. Shawnee has a quick look around, an opportunity of a score, and yes, a great point by Shawnee Davern, following some tremendous work and a great solo run by Michael Walsh. That ball brought out of the heart of defence by Larry Jurek. He got it up to Michael Walsh, and Michael went on a typical solo run, 40 metres he did, before laying on the ball nicely in a one-handed scoop for Shawnee Davern, who made no mistake. It's 7 points Rahoon, Castlegar 4 points. Rahoon now seeming poised for their first junior title since 1970, and their first major title since 1977, when they notched the intermediate title at the expense of Pierce's. But Castlegar are back in the fray again. Tommy Duggan is taken down straight out of goal, about 35 yards out from goal, and Kieran Shaughnessy meanwhile moves in to have a word with Niall Duffy. So exciting fare here in these last few minutes here. 13.5 minutes into this game, midway through one could say the second half, and Rahoon attempting to put further light between the sides, but then again another opportunity here for Castlegar to narrow that gap. And Tom Ollie King makes no mistake. We thought in fact Tom had gone off there for a moment, but Tom is still very much in the fray here. So that's a 3rd point for Tom Ollie King. The score is now 7 points to Rahoon, 5 points to Castlegar, and in fact Tom Ollie is lining out at centre field. Tom King lining out at centre field. So Marty Davern pucks out, a long one from Marty out to the middle of the field. Jimmy Shaughnessy is there, so also is Tom Kane. Seamus Maloney trying to get it out. Ball is pulled on, up towards John Kane. John tries to get it first time. John ending in on the pull, gets it first time in across towards Peter Kane, and Peter Kane now trying to get the teams moving, and a free there by Tom Connolly, a foul by Tom Connolly, a one-handed swing on Peter Kane, which results in a free and another opportunity for Seamus Maloney to extend the lead. 7 points to 5. Things really hotting up here in the second half. Having a quick look around now, one notices that there were some changes. We thought that Tom King had gone off, but Tom is out there in the middle of the field. And Seamus Maloney has an opportunity now from about 59 metres out. A little bit to the right. Seamus hits this one though, to the left. It was a tricky one. Difficult control, the greasy slither today in those underfoot conditions. But Rahoon now maintaining their momentum. And the scoreline reads, Rahoon 7 points, Castlegar 5 points. And certainly there will be great celebrating in the Galway Shawl tonight, of course, if Rahoon win this title. Brendan Linsky and Tony Keady have given a great hand to Rahoon since they began training them at the beginning of the year. Peter Griffin is out there now. Peter is on his own, in possession now, trying to make room for himself. Has a quick look around, decides to go on a solo. And Peter going through the heart of the defence. He has a go for a point, and he launches one, but no. The referee called him back. He caught that ball 3 times, and it's a free out. But a great attempt by Peter Griffin, the substitute who came in. He's marking Tom Connolly as centre forward. And Tom Connolly being spoken to there by one of the Castlegar mentors. We followed the play. It's another free out from more or less the same position where he launched a long attack long ago. Not so long ago. Dermot Moran, this one is a short one. Moving forward is Shawnee Byrne, so also Matthew Conroy. Peter Kane now, out in the middle of the field. And Big Griffin is there again. Peter Griffin gets the ball up towards the right wing here. Seamus Maloney is there. Seamus adds to it. The ball is blocked by Kelly. Colm Kelly, and Kelly can only tap it out for a sideline ball. So things have really reached fever pitch here. Great excitement. Two sets of supporters getting behind their teams, Sean Walsh.
Yeah, very much the case, Joe. Rahoon have really come into it in the last 5-10 minutes, and really Castlegar are really looking at an all-out effort to pull them back into this game. Interesting that both teams have gone back to the orthodox forward formation with the two rovers gone into the respective corner forward positions. But Rahoon looking good, but still you never write off Castlegar.
Well, that's right, because they've proved themselves doughty battlers indeed right throughout this campaign. They've just won their quarter-final and semi-final by 1 point. The ball hit in nicely by Seamus Murphy to Griffin. Griffin didn't expect it, but the ball comes out now. Pulling back there is Tom King. Tom Connolly's back there, so also. And the ball well caught there by an attempted catch, but no, he hasn't got it. Jimmy Shotnessey's back there. Jimmy trying to bring it out. Pulls on it. Gets it out as far as Seamus Maloney, and Seamus has a chance of a point, but it's to the left and wide. Again, a rather unexpected Seamus Maloney. He came very quickly at him there. Didn't have a chance to steady himself. And Jerry Duggan will puck out once again for Castlegar. So we've passed the halfway stage in this game. Great excitement here being generated by both sets of supporters who are all behind their sides. Ball out to the middle of the field. Mikey Joyce bats it down nicely to Michael Walsh. Peter Griffin is there now. Peter launches an attack, a long one in towards Jerry Duggan in the Castlegar goal. Jerry will have difficulty with this one, controlling it, but he comes out, shakes off the tackle there of Peter Kane. Peter Kane is in there, but the ball being brought out eventually by John Tierney. And John Tierney trying to get the ball out now. Comes to Tom Wall, and it's a free in. In fact, an opportunity for Rahoon to extend their lead. 7 points to 5, the scoreline. Rahoon in front. So we follow the play. There seems to be one of the Rahoon players down injured there. Sean Davern is it. Sean, of course, has been troubled by a back injury for many, many years. And this is the first year that he's had an injury-free campaign to date, but he's up. Seems to be his leg is giving him trouble there. So Shawnee has a rub with the towel there. Seamus Maloney has a look at the post. He's about 23 metres out. Seamus lifts, strikes, and it's another point for Seamus Maloney, who has really settled into his free-taking duties here and has notched 3 points since Michael Menton left in the first half injured. Well, we thought that Michael Menton's loss indeed might be something they wouldn't be able to overcome, but indicating the strength of their panel. Shawnee Byrne coming into right half back, and indeed now Peter Griffin coming in for Sean Collern. The ball is pucked out now. So while we follow the play here in the middle of the field, scrappy play out there. Pat Buck tries to get it, so also does Matthew Conroy. Matthew tips it up now here, but it's Tom Kane back there. Tom Kane now and Kieran Shaughnessy. Major change in the Castlegar lineup with Tom Connolly having moved to full forward. Tom, having trouble with his hamstring, has moved up to full forward. He played an excellent first half. And Seamus Murphy, who was selected at full forward, spent a term at centre forward, has moved back to centre back. Indeed, a position he's very used to because he lined out there for many years with Castlegar. Mike Joyce is here, the strong Mike Joyce. Hand passes it into Griffin. Griffin pulls it first time, and that should be a Rahoon ball because it went out of the hurley of Seamus Murphy. And the big James Fahey is in the game, and a big cheer from the Castlegar supporters. James Bomber Fahey is in the fray. We don't know who's gone off yet. He's going into the corner. I see they're calling Tom Connolly ashore. Tom has a bit of trouble with that hamstring. And the Bomber Fahey, James Bomber Fahey, goes into full forward to mark Raymond Rondo Lawless. The men with the nicknames are in there. There should be some tussles in there if we get the slither up that far. But Rahoon have managed to keep it out quite a bit from there. And the resultant throw in here about 46 metres out has resulted in a sideline ball for Castlegar. Ball tipped out by Seamus Maloney. And number 2, right cornerback, John Connor takes this one, gets it out to the middle of the field where Shawnee Burden is here, and the ball goes off Shawnee's hurley. And Tom Wall, the linesman, indicates it's a sideline ball for Castlegar. So Shawnee Burden going back to take up his position. Matthew Conroy, the young miner, trying to place this in an unmuddied patch, as it were, going to take this sideline ball, but no, he's told to go up and push ahead. Colm Kelly will take this sideline ball. Colm Kelly now tries to hit the ball right across the field, gets it across there now where Peter Kane is back there helping his defence. Again, the brotherly love of Peter and Porrick there, but Peter gets his stroke in between Michael Walsh and Tom Healy, but Tom Healy fouled there by Michael Walsh, and it's a free to Castlegar, which will be taken by Seamus Murphy. Seamus, as we said, has reverted to a more customary position from him. Many of us are more familiar with seeing Seamus in the full-back or centre-back position where he lined out for many years with Castlegar. Seamus takes a short one, in towards the defence, and Peter Kane is back there, lifts and strikes. Lovely stroke by him, but it goes out over the sideline, and it's a sideline ball for Castlegar. Tom Healy will more than likely take the sideline ball. No, Tom is moving to retrieve the ball quickly. We watch the time and we make it 20 minutes gone. 22 minutes of play, in fact, gone in this second half. And Rahoon still lead by those 3 points. Rahoon 8 points, Castlegar 5 points. So an interesting second half. Tom Healy moving back now to take this sideline ball. Nice cut from Healy. The ball is blocked down there by Larry Jurek. It's Paulie Kane, gets it in towards Pat Buck. Pat Buck tipping it across now towards one of the substitutes. Yes, it's James Bomber Fahy. The strong bomber, the robust bomber, is bursting through the defence. He's taken down as it's a free end. And on his first touch, Fahy has earned himself a free, tearing through the defence. His strength will prove maybe difficult to cope with in there. But the Rahoon defence have shown themselves capable of dealing with anything Castlegar have managed to throw at them so far. So Tom King gets another opportunity to score another point for Castlegar. He lifts, he strikes, and he sends it wide. So that ball is wide. Tom King has failed to narrow the gap there. That's an important miss indeed for Castlegar, and Rahoon indeed will look on it as relief as well, because coming into a crucial stage of the game now, there's 3 points between them, and really very little chance of either side scoring a major score here, with the defences very much on top, as Sean Walsh earlier on said to us. The ball is pucked out by Marty Davern. Sean Byrne had it, but he's robbed by Matthew Conroy. Matthew Conroy is fouled, and it's an opportunity now for who's going to take this free, Matthew himself, to reduce the deficit and perhaps score where Tom King failed to do so just a few short moments ago. Matthew Conroy has a look at the posts. Matthew has been the reliable free taker of the minor team. He lifts this one, he hits it, and it goes hesitantly over the bar. So Matthew Conroy in fact registers his first score of the hour today with that point, a vital point indeed for Castlegar, following the miss just a few moments earlier by Tom King. So Marty Davern prepares to puck out again. There's just 2 points between the sides. It's 8 points to 6, all to play for. 24 minutes gone. 6 minutes away Rahoon are from an historic junior title. Ball breaks to Rahoon man, but in Castlegar colours, Paulie Kane. He puts Castlegar on the attack. Blocked down there by Niall Duffy, and there's yet another foul there. A late pull, in fact, I think it was on Paulie Kane. So another opportunity now for free taker. Who will it be to narrow the gap to just the minimum? So it's 8 points to 6. As we said, just under 6 minutes play left in this County Junior A Championship hurling final for 1992, and Matthew Conroy steadies himself again. Will he leave just 1 point between them, or will there be the 2? Matthew lifts, he strikes, but it's a low one. Badly up onto his hurley indeed. Shawnee Burden tries to tempt the clearance, gets it out towards the right half hour position where Seamus Maloney is. Seamus Maloney now having a quick look around, trying to show a clean pair of heels to his followers. Matthew Conroy follows him, but Maloney is still in possession. He still has it out there, tries to hit it in on the ground. Gets it on the ground, gets it in through towards fullback Dermot Moore and Shawnee Davern. Davern is in there, nicely blocked by Shawnee Davern. Shawnee now trying to shake off the shackles of Moore, lays it on nicely for Michael Walsh. Michael now going on one of his typical solo and sets up Seamus Maloney. Maloney now has a quick look around, took his eye off it for a moment, and it comes to Seamus Murphy back there clearing his lines, trying to relieve his lines, gets the ball out, but can only get a short one out as far as right corner back John Connor. John Connor gets a short one out, but it only comes to Peter Griffin. Peter has a chance of a score now. He has a look at the posts, and yes, a great point from Peter Griffin. A very popular score there from Peter Griffin, the substitute, who came in to centre forward. So that's Peter's first score. Indeed, he threatened to score 1 or 2 more earlier on. It was a bit of hard luck when one of his points was adjudged to have been scored after a foul was committed. But we follow the play. There's 3 points between the sides again. It's 9 points to 6. Castlegar on the attack in towards the right corner forward position. Tommy Duggan is back there, so also is Niall Duffy. Niall Duffy in close attention there. He stays, keeps him out there towards the corner flag. Tommy Duggan trying to shake him off, and yes, referee Eamon Whelan quite rightly indicates that it's a free out for having held onto the ball too long. So very intelligent play from Niall Duffy, the left corner back there, as he shepherded Tommy Duggan over in the right corner of the attack. Larry Jurek moves back to take this free out. About 10 metres out from his own end line, and he launches a long one up towards Michael Walsh. Tom Healy is back there, so also Seamus Murphy. Seamus Murphy gets it out to Peter Griffin. Another chance for Peter, but he launches this one in long. Jerry Duggan comes out from the goal to clear, and Jerry launches a relieving clearance from the edge of his small parallelogram out towards the middle of the field. Mike Joyce is up there, tries to catch it. So also is Matthew Conroy. Paulie Kane is there in close attention. Mike Joyce still going, battling hard. Seamus Murphy is back there. Michael Walsh gets it in, but it's a free. No, it's not. We follow the play. Back there is Johnny Connor. John Connor, right corner back. relieving his lines for Castlegar. Out towards Michael Walsh. Tom Healy is back there. Michael Walsh now in possession. Mike now trying to shake off the shackles of Tom Healy. He throws it in, but it goes to the left and wide. Nearly as good as a score, I'm sure, for Rahoon at this stage. 9 points to 6. A cushion of 3 points they have, and time ticking away. We make it just 3 minutes left in this game. Little over 3 minutes left in this County Junior A Championship hurling final for 1992. Another substitute about to come into the fray for Castlegar, and I believe it's going to be Shane Connolly, son of John. Shane, it seems, is coming in. Just 3 minutes left in the game. Very little time for him. He's coming in instead of Tom Ollie King, and he comes in at right half forward. Shane had such an influential part to play in the County Minor A final recently, but we follow the play. Jerry Duggan pucks the ball out to the middle of the field. Brendan Linsky has joined us on this side of the field now. Brendan very happy with today's performance, as will deal with his assistant Tony Keeley. We follow the play. Porry Kane is back there. Porry Kane scooping it in, getting it out now, trying to kick it through. Really playing his heart out as Porry Kane. The ball comes out to Larry Jurek. Another clearance from Larry Jurek up towards the left half forward position. But Michael Walsh fails to keep it in play, and the ball trickles out over the sideline. It's a sideline ball to be taken by Tom Healy. Tom Healy now will take the sideline cut for Castlegar. They have very little time now to get back into this game. Ball comes to Porry Kane, but it comes to Larry Jurek. So also Peter Kane. Porry Kane is back there. Gets it out now to Jimmy Shaughnessy. Jimmy Shaughnessy trying to get it through, but John Kane, the reliable cornerback, is there. So also is Kieran Shaughnessy. Kieran pulls. Kieran is fouled by John Kane, and it's a free in for Castlegar. This could be in around the house. There's very little time left. They need a goal to draw this game. I'm sure from a casual perspective they would love to equalise now, but certainly Rahoon would also love to keep that cushion of 3 points to bring their first junior title to Rahoon since 1970. As we said earlier on, with just 1 minute left in the game, Matthew Conroy now will obviously lob this in around the house. Peter Griffin stands in front of him there. Matthew lobs it in, but it goes to the right and wide. Gone to the right and wide. So relief from the faces of the Rahoon players and supporters here, and certainly they're assured of a great welcome onto that lead. But it looks as though the County Junior A Hurling Championship title will rest in Rahoon for 1992. Peter Kane, the busy Peter now in the roving commission, looking for Marty's puck out. Well, Brian Flaherty's out there. So also is Colm Kelly. Comes to Matthew Conroy in the middle of the field. Matthew now trying to make room for himself. This speedster moving towards the far side of the field. Matthew now fails to control it, but he still has it. Lovely work by Matthew Conroy. Porry Kane is back there. So also is Larry Jurek. Porry Kane keeps it in play. And Peter Griffin tips it out to safety. Tips it out to safety for a sideline ball, which will be taken quickly, I'm sure, by Shane Connolly. Shane Connolly now has a quick look at the posts. Takes a low one in and towards the centre. Moving in towards Seamus Murphy, who's moved up to a very deep position, but he only manages to pass it to Shawnee Byrne. Shawnee Byrne now is coming out. A nice little clearance from Shawnee Byrne. But the game is all over. That's it. And Rahoon have won the 1992 County Junior A Hurling Championship title. And great scenes of jubilation here amongst the Rahoon supporters and the Rahoon players. Tony Keeley embracing Peter Kane there. Brendan Linsky moving out to clap and cheer his players as well. A great achievement for Rahoon. A scoreline of 9 points to 6. A 3-point victory and a well-deserved victory in the end. A very spirited performance, particularly in the second from Rahoon. Sean Walsh.
Yeah, very much the case, Joe. They did very well. Even the two substitutes that came in, Peter Griffin made a hell of a difference when he came in. Sean Byrne played very well at the back. They lost Michael Menton. It was a big loss, but fair play to them. Mike Joyce, lads like Seamus Maloney, they took over the mantle, and they'll be very happy in Rahoon tonight. But again, we just have to say as a wrap-up, fair play to both teams. It's a very high level of skill on offer today, despite atrocious conditions.
Well, yes, Sean, and I suppose we might ask you, in casting your eye, there were some fine performances. Who would you have thought would have been the man of the match today?
Well, I suppose we'd have to mention Sean Davern's second half performance. Seamus Maloney did very well when taking over from the freeze. But I think when we look at it all, Larry Jurek really came into the game at left half back for Rahoon. And I suppose if we were to pick a man of the match, Larry Jurek for his superb striking that brought Rahoon right back into it and gave this title back to the Rahoon men.
Well, yes, indeed, and I'd like to thank Sean Walsh of Galway Bay FM, indeed, and his report will be coming up later on in the programme for his analysis here with us today. But on this historic day for Rahoon, of course, Raymond Rondo Lawless is making his way here for the presentation of the trophy. So a great victory for Rahoon on a scoreline of 9 points to Rahoon, Castlegar 6, and I'm sure there will be great celebrating in the Galway Shawl this evening. And indeed, I'm sure that all the supporters and indeed the sponsors like Classic Curtains, who put their money where their mouths were indeed early on in the season to back this Rahoon hurling team, and certainly will be well deserved. A great tribute as well indeed to the many people like Joe Clark, Tom Connor, Matty O'Toole and manager Brendan Linsky for the manner in which they had prepared this outfit, and indeed also for the dedication and the commitment shown out there on the field today. But commiserations to Castlegar, as they say, by Law Ella Egan Buirach, and they certainly helped to make this a most entertaining County Junior A Hurling Championship final for 19.
Right.